You know, there's something about the start of a new year, or even just a new month, that fills us with this electric energy. We look at our lives, we see the things we want to change, the dreams we want to chase, and suddenly we're filled with ambition. We set these massive goals, like losing 20 pounds, writing a book, starting a business, or learning a new language. And then, as the weeks roll on, that excitement starts to fade. The weight of those big goals can feel so overwhelming that we often find ourselves paralyzed, unsure of where to even begin. It's like standing at the foot of a mountain, gazing up at the peak, feeling so small and insignificant. But what if I told you that the key to conquering that mountain isn't in one giant leap, but in a series of small, manageable steps? Let's break it down. The first thing we need to do is understand that big goals can be incredibly daunting. They can trigger that little voice in our heads that says, "You'll never be able to do this." But here's the truth. Every big goal is just a collection of smaller tasks. It's like building a house. You don't just plop a mansion down in the middle of a plot of land. You start with a foundation, and then you build up from there. One of my favorite quotes comes from the author and motivational speaker Brian Tracy, who said, "Successful people are simply those with successful habits." Think about that for a moment. It's not about the monumental achievements. It's about the daily habits that lead to those achievements. So, if we want to reach our big goals, we need to cultivate the right habits by breaking those goals down into smaller, actionable steps. Let's take the example of writing a book. If you've ever thought about writing one, you probably know how intimidating it can feel. You might think, "I need to write a whole book," but what if instead you set a goal to write just 1 page a day? That's it, 1 page. At the end of the month, you'll have 30 pages. By the end of the year, you'll have a full manuscript. It's all about perspective. In her book, The Happiness Project, Gretchen Rubin writes, "The days are long, but the years are short." This is such a powerful reminder that while we often feel like we have all the time in the world, the truth is, time slips away faster than we realize. By breaking our goals down into smaller tasks, we can make the most of our time. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment to start, we can take action now, one small step at a time. Let's apply this to another goal, getting fit. The idea of losing weight or getting in shape can feel like an insurmountable task. But what if you made a commitment to walk for just 10 minutes a day? That's achievable, right? And once you've established that habit, you can gradually increase your time or intensity. Maybe after a month, you're walking for 20 minutes a day. Eventually, you might find yourself running or even signing up for a 5K. It all starts with that first 10 minutes. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, emphasizes the importance of small changes, stating, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." This is the crux of it. It's not just about setting lofty goals. It's about creating systems that support those goals. By breaking our big goals into smaller, actionable steps, we're essentially creating a system that allows us to succeed. Now, let's talk about setting realistic goals. It's crucial to be honest with ourselves about what we can achieve. If you've never run before, setting a goal to run a marathon in 3 months might not be realistic. Instead, aim for a 5K in 6 months. It's about finding that balance between challenging yourself and setting yourself up for success. Another quote that resonates with this idea comes from the author and entrepreneur Tim Ferriss, who said, "What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do." Often, the things we want to accomplish seem scary because they push us out of our comfort zones. But if we break them down, those fears can become manageable. Instead of fearing the entire process, we can focus on just one small action at a time. So how do we actually break down these big goals? Start by writing them down. There's something incredibly powerful about putting pen to paper. When you write down your goal, you're making a commitment to yourself. Next, identify the smaller steps that will lead you to that goal. For instance, if your goal is to start a business, your smaller steps might include researching your market, creating a business plan, and setting up a website. Each of these steps is actionable and specific, making it easier to track your progress. As you work through these smaller tasks, celebrate your achievements along the way. This is crucial. When you complete a step, take a moment to acknowledge it. It's easy to get caught up in the bigger picture and forget to appreciate the progress you've made. Celebrating small wins keeps you motivated and reminds you that you're moving forward. Another important aspect of this process is accountability. Share your goals with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or even a mentor. When you vocalize your goals, you create a sense of accountability. You're more likely to follow through when someone else knows what you're working towards. Plus, they can provide encouragement and support along the way, which can be invaluable during those moments when motivation wanes. Let's also talk about flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes, despite our best intentions, things don't go as planned. That's okay. It's essential to be adaptable. If you find that a particular step isn't working for you, don't be afraid to adjust your approach. Maybe you're trying to write every day, but life gets busy. Instead, aim for 3 times a week. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it means changing your tactics. As we navigate this journey, it's essential to remember that progress isn't always linear. There will be ups and downs, and that's completely normal. In fact, it's part of the process. The author Elizabeth Gilbert, in her book Big Magic, reminds us that you are afraid of surrender because you don't want to lose control, but you never had control. All you had was anxiety. Letting go of the need for perfection can be liberating. Embrace the messiness of the journey and allow yourself to learn and grow along the way. Now, let's circle back to the idea of time. If we take a moment to reflect, we realize that we often overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can achieve in a year. This is where breaking down our goals becomes even more crucial. By focusing on small steps, we can create a sense of momentum that propels us forward. Think about it. If you commit to doing just one small task every day, that adds up. At the end of the year, you'll have completed 365 tasks. That's a lot of progress. It's about consistency over intensity. Instead of burning out by trying to do everything at once, you can build a sustainable routine that keeps you moving towards your goals. In conclusion, breaking down big goals into achievable steps isn't just a strategy, it's a mindset. It's about recognizing that every great achievement is the result of countless small actions. It's about creating a system that supports your dreams and allows you to thrive. Remember, success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out, as Robert Collier wisely stated. So, as you embark on your journey towards your big goals, keep this in mind. Take a breath, break it down, and take that first step. You've got this.